If you're between 70 and 80 and you can still do these 8 simple things, then you, my friend, are a rare gem. Have you ever looked around and quietly wondered, am I doing okay for my age? Maybe you don't ask it out loud, but then a neighbor mentions a new health scare, or someone your age says, well, that's just what happens after 70. But what if that's not the full story? What if aging doesn't have to mean slowing down, falling apart, or being left behind? What if being over 70 and still able to do a few simple everyday things is actually a quiet sign that you're stronger and more exceptional than most people realize? Because here's the thing, most folks never talk about the quiet victories of aging. They don't talk about the older man who still ties his shoes and walks each morning, or the grandmother who still bakes, pays her own bills, and FaceTimes her grandkids with a smile. They don't talk about you, the one who keeps showing up, even when no one's watching. And that's why we made this video. Not to scare you, not to lecture you, but to honor you. Today we'll walk through 8 signs that if you still experience them, mean you're not just doing okay, you're the exception. So stay with us, because sign number 8 is the one most people miss. Yet it might just be the most important one of all. This is timeless wisdom, where aging isn't the end, but the beginning of a wiser, more meaningful chapter. Sign number 1, you can still take care of yourself. Dear friend, let us ask you something simple, but truly worth celebrating. Can you still get out of bed on your own? Can you dress yourself without anyone's help? Can you make a cup of tea, fix a sandwich, or walk out to the mailbox, even on a rainy morning? If you answered yes to even one of those, you're already doing more than millions of others your age. You see, physical independence, the ability to care for your own body in your own home, it's one of the first things many people begin to lose after 70. And sadly, it often slips away without anyone noticing. It might start with a small fall, a dizzy spell, a chair that suddenly feels too low, or stairs that seem steeper than they used to. Then come the grab bars, the walker, the hesitation. But if you're still moving, no matter how slow, still bathing, still preparing your meals, still choosing when and how you move, that, dear friend, is a quiet kind of victory. Let us tell you about Barbara. She's 77, lives in Arizona. Every morning she boils water for oatmeal, slices up a banana, and adds just a touch of cinnamon. It's not fancy, but it's hers. She once told us, as long as I can make my own breakfast, I know I'm still me. It's not about speed or strength, it's about ownership. It's about knowing, deep down, your body still listens to you. And no, it doesn't have to be perfect. Some days hurt more than others, some joints are stiffer. That's okay. Because if you can still move, still choose how to begin your day, then you are still free. And here's the good news. Even if your body feels a little weaker now, there's still so much you can do. Simple stretches, gentle walks, a few minutes of deep breathing while standing near a wall for balance. No gym required, no prescriptions needed. Sometimes, strength begins with just one quiet step. And speaking of strength, let's talk about another kind, the kind that lives in your mind. Sign number 2, your mind is still sharp. Sign number 2, your mind is still sharp. Dear friend, let's pause for a moment and ask something we don't always give ourselves credit for. Do you still remember where you left your keys? Can you hold a conversation, tell a joke, follow a story, or even finish a crossword puzzle? If your answer is yes, then you're doing far more than many people your age, and even more than some folks half your age, because staying mentally clear after 70, that's no small thing. It's not luck, it's a sign of a mind that has weathered storms, held on to memories, and stayed open to learning, even when life got hard. And that, dear friend, that is rare, that is powerful. Mental clarity isn't just about not forgetting names. It means you still notice beauty, you still make choices, you still decide how to respond, with grace, with humor, or maybe just quiet reflection. Let us tell you about Mr. Allen, an 81-year-old man living in a quiet suburb outside Portland. Every evening he reads the newspaper, cover to cover, with a warm cup of tea by his side. He sends thoughtful birthday cards to his grandkids and scribbles one-line poems in the margins. His granddaughter says, "It's like he's still 30, just slower, softer, and wiser." That, my friend, is what mental sharpness really looks like. It's not racing thoughts. It's the ability to be fully present. Even when the world feels noisy, you still notice the quiet things. Even when others forget, you still remember what matters. And no, you don't need to be a genius. Keeping your mind alive is often as simple as staying curious. Curious about a new book, a new song, a neighbor's story, or a cup of tea you've never tried before. Because every moment of wonder is a moment closer to vitality. So if today you woke up remembering your name, your story, and your smile, then you, dear friend, are not just still sharp, you are shining. And just like the mind, there's another area in life where clarity brings freedom, managing your money and your choices with confidence. Sign number 3, you manage your finances with wisdom and meaning. Dear friend, let's talk about something we rarely say out loud, yet it quietly shapes so much of our peace. Money. Not just having it, but using it wisely, kindly, intentionally. If you're still paying your bills, checking your bank statements, staying alert to scams, planning your purchases, and choosing where your dollars go, then you're doing something not every 70 or 80-year-old can say they still do. Financial independence is freedom. It's knowing you don't have to ask for permission to buy new shoes, to take a class, or to surprise your grandchild on their birthday with a thoughtful little gift. But here's the deeper truth. It's not just about staying out of debt or keeping your receipts in order. It's about spending with heart. Let us tell you about Eleanor, 79, living in a small town near Boston. She lives simply, no mansion, no luxury car. But every December, she sets aside a small envelope labeled Joy Budget. It's not a big amount, just $300. But with it, she buys secondhand books for the local library, fresh flowers for her husband's grave, and warm socks for people at a nearby shelter. I may not be rich, she says, but I want my money to tell the story of what I care about. And really, isn't that the point? You don't have to be wealthy to live with intention. You just have to know what matters to you. Maybe it's saving up for a new watercolor set, or a train ticket to visit an old friend, or simply saying, no, I don't need that, so you can say yes to something better next week. How you use your money reflects how clearly you see your life. And if you're still choosing for yourself, deciding what to give, what to keep, and what to release, then, dear friend, you're not just getting through retirement, you're living it with integrity, with purpose, with quiet care. And from that place of wisdom, another kind of richness begins to grow, the joy of connection through your voice, your stories, and your open heart. Sign number 4, you still communicate positively with loved ones. Dear friend, in life we often juggle 3 big themes: finances, relationships, and inner peace. And here's something beautiful. When even one part of you feels calm and centered, it quietly softens everything else. Because when your heart is at peace, your conversations become softer too, kinder, more open. There's something deeply powerful about a voice that still knows how to say, I'm proud of you, I forgive you, I love you. If you're still reaching out to your children, grandchildren, or old friends, even if it's just a short call, a kind message, or a handwritten note, then you're doing something far greater than just staying in touch. You're building bridges, you're nurturing roots, you're keeping your presence alive in the lives of those you love. Let us tell you about Harold, an 82-year-old retired mailman from Wisconsin. His daughter lives across the country, and his grandkids are always busy with school and life. But every Sunday at 5 p.m. sharp, Harold picks up the phone. He doesn't have much to say. It's just me in the garden, he chuckles. But his daughter always answers. Because that voice is her anchor. You see, communication at this age isn't about saying a lot. It's about saying enough. Enough to remind them you're still here, still thinking of them, still part of their story. And sometimes the most powerful part is simply listening. Listening with patience, with understanding, with gentle curiosity instead of judgment. If you still enjoy listening to your grandson's silly jokes, or hear your grown-up children vent about work, or reply to a birthday text with a warm voice note, then you are doing something deeply meaningful. You're reminding your family that you still care, that you still matter, and that you still belong. And if your loved ones don't always reach out first, don't let that trouble your heart. What matters most is that your heart remains open. And trust us, your presence, your words, your wisdom, they echo louder than you know. And when connection flows like that, something beautiful happens. A relationship becomes more than memory. it becomes companionship. So in the next part, let's talk about something every soul quietly longs for, having someone to walk with you through every season of life. Sign number 5, you have a companion or lifelong friend. Dear friend, there's a special kind of peace that comes from knowing you don't have to walk this life alone. Someone to sit beside you, to share the quiet mornings and the stormy nights. Someone who's seen you at your brightest and stayed through your darkest. If you still have that kind of connection, a spouse, a partner, a sister, a neighbor, or even an old friend who knows your heart, then you have something truly priceless. Because after 70, what we crave isn't a bigger house or a fancier phone. It's presence. It's shared laughter across the kitchen table. It's someone finishing your sentence, not to interrupt, but because they already know the rest. Let us tell you about Stan and Rita, married for 58 years, living in a small town in Idaho. Each evening, they sit quietly on their front porch with a pot of peppermint tea, watching the sky shift as the sun melts behind the trees. They don't talk much. They don't have to. Rita once said, "Stan doesn't always remember what day it is, but somehow he always knows when I'm feeling off, and he'll make me tea without saying a word." That, dear friend, is love, redefined. Not just romance, but companionship, the steady rhythm of choosing each other again and again. And if you no longer have a partner, please don't think you've missed out. Maybe it's a lifelong friend, a loyal pet, a neighbor who brings you soup when you're under the weather, even the mailman who notices your garden bloom each spring. These are connections, too. They are family in their own quiet way. And if you can say, "There's someone who would notice if I didn't show up," then you, dear friend, are not just living. You belong. And that sense of belonging, it softens us. It strengthens us. And sometimes it awakens something rare at this age, the desire to keep exploring, to keep learning, to stay curious. Sign number 6, you still love to learn and stay curious. Dear friend, do you know what makes a 75-year-old feel younger than someone who's 25? It's not stronger knees. It's not sharper vision. It's curiosity. That quiet, persistent spark that asks, what else is out there for me to try? If you still feel excited about learning something new, whether it's how to use a phone app, bake a different kind of bread, or understand the moon phases better than your grandkids, then you, dear friend, are growing younger by the day. Let us tell you about Alma, 74, from North Carolina. After her husband passed, her world turned gray. Everything felt dull, muted. But one afternoon, a neighbor invited her to a watercolor class at the local library. She had never painted before. She was nervous, but she went anyway. Today, her sunroom is filled with soft, gentle paintings of wildflowers, her old cat, and even the tree she used to climb as a child. "I don't paint because I'm good," she says with a smile. "I paint because I didn't know I could." And that is the magic of curiosity. It doesn't demand perfection, just a willing heart. For you, it might be gardening, learning how to video call your grandkids, trying meditation for the first time, or reading about history, philosophy, or the stars. Every time you say, "I wonder," you light something up in your brain. You invite life in. And science agrees. Mental stimulation keeps neurons firing, memory sharper, and spirit brighter. But beyond the science, curiosity is living proof that your soul is still reaching forward, still open, still alive. And when we stay curious, something beautiful happens. We start finding joy in simple things again. We start doing more of what we love, just because we love it. So next, let's talk about what happens when curiosity becomes a quiet daily rhythm, a meaningful hobby that brings peace to your day and a gentle sense of purpose to your life. Sign number 7, you have a meaningful hobby or daily rhythm. Dear friend, there's something quietly magical about waking up and already knowing what your hands want to do and what your heart longs to touch. Maybe it's kneading dough for a loaf of bread. Maybe it's watering the rose bushes or feeding the birds one at a time as they flutter into your little corner of the world. But whatever it is, if it gives your day a soft rhythm, a steady beat that gently carries you forward, then you, dear friend, have discovered something rare: purpose. Not the loud kind, not the kind that wins awards or changes the world, but the kind that makes today feel meaningful, the kind that says, "This moment matters." Let us tell you about Mr. Tomas, 80 years old, retired after a lifetime in construction. Every afternoon at 3 o'clock, he sits on his porch and carves wood, wood shavings at his feet, a quiet smile on his face. He's not trying to sell anything, not trying to impress anyone. He's just there, fully present in the moment. And that is what purpose looks like. Sometimes people ask, isn't a hobby just a way to pass time? But maybe the better question is, what's the kindest way I can spend time with myself today? Because every moment spent in gentle focus, knitting, journaling, sorting old photos, or just watching the sky change color, is a moment that quietly says, I matter. My time matters. And when we do what we love, something shifts. We calm our nervous system. We deepen our breath. We invite joy without even trying. So if you've found that rhythm, if there's something you look forward to each day, something you do not to finish, but simply because it feels right, then you're not just passing time. You're honoring it. And by doing that, you are honoring yourself. And there's one final gift, the quiet wisdom to accept, to adapt, and to embrace life exactly as it is. Let's talk about that next. Sign number 8, you embrace life with openness and gentle acceptance. Dear friend, there's a certain kind of wisdom that settles in with time. It doesn't shout, it doesn't need to prove anything. It simply smiles and says, this belongs to. If you've come to a point in your life where you can welcome change without resistance, where you see wrinkles as stories and silence as peace, then you, dear friend, are carrying something truly extraordinary, an open mind, a soft heart, and a spirit at ease. Because the truth is, many people grow more rigid with age. They cling harder to habits, to opinions, to the past. But you, if you've learned to let go of what no longer serves you, old grudges, quiet fears, or even the illusion of control, then you've touched something no school can teach and no book can hold. You've found acceptance. Let us tell you about Grace, 86 years old, who lost her husband 3 winters ago. At first, she resisted everything, new neighbors, new routines, new seasons. But one spring morning, she opened a window, felt the breeze on her face, and gently whispered, I think it's okay now. She didn't need life to be perfect. She just needed to say yes to the present. Because acceptance isn't giving up. It's letting go with love. It's trusting that the unknown isn't always dangerous. Sometimes it's just new. It's knowing that pain will come, that loss will happen, that surprises, both sweet and sorrowful, will find their way in. And still, you stay open. Open to change, open to learning, open to loving. If that's you, if you can sit in the middle of a life that's far from tidy and still say, I am grateful, then dear friend, you are the rarest gem of all. A gentle closing gift from our hearts to yours. Dear friend, if you've made it here through each of the 8 signs, then we hope you're beginning to see what we've seen all along, that you're not just getting by, you're not just growing old, you are extraordinary. In a world that rushes, forgets, and sometimes overlooks, you are still moving, still thinking, still loving, still becoming. And if you can still care for your body, keep your mind sharp, make your own choices, use your voice, walk beside someone, stay curious, create beauty, and hold life with open hands, then you're not just aging, you are living wisely. Let that truth soak in for a moment. You are part of a rare generation, not just because of your years, but because of the quiet strength you carry. The grace, the humor, the patience, the stories only you can tell. And maybe, just maybe, you didn't realize how radiant you still are until you saw it reflected back here today. So before we go, we'd love to ask you, which of the 8 signs resonated most with you? Leave a comment below with the number that felt true for you. Was it number 2, your mind is still sharp? Or number 6, you still have someone to share tea and quiet moments with? Maybe number 8 touched something deeper. You never know, your comment might help someone else feel a little less alone today. And if this video warmed your heart, even just a little, would you consider giving it a like or sharing it with someone who needs to hear this message? Because this is what the Timeless Wisdom channel is here for. To remind you that aging is not the end. It's the beginning of a wiser, more meaningful chapter. So take this wisdom into your day. Walk gently, speak kindly, stay curious, and always remember, you are deeply needed, just as you are. We'll see you again soon. We'll be right here waiting with another gentle story. This is Timeless Wisdom, where every minute you give to your health today becomes a gift for your tomorrow.